up for your host, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up. Good evening, New York Comedy Club studio audience. I will be your third and current comedian this evening. I am POPPA RUS GUTIN, a Jew. Thank you. You're welcome, or I apologize, sir. Okay, I know my people could be very annoying. I've seen Bette Midler's tweets too. Okay, all right, okay. But listen, studio audience, I had to take out a home equity loan just to fill my gas tank to get here tonight. So we're gonna have a good time here, okay? So the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna milk you guys as a studio audience for several sets of cheap applause here at the start of the show here tonight to keep the positive energy going, okay, miss? And the way I'm gonna do that as a comedian, obviously, is I'm gonna give you guys information or facts or tidbits about my life and then get or demand the cheap applause from you guys. That's how this comedy thing works for you beautiful motherfuckers. It's an exchange. Are you guys ready to bring the noise, bring the thunder tonight? Come on, bring some noise. All right, there we go. This is a great group, okay? So before I do my first set of demanded cheap applause, miss, just to reintroduce myself one more time, I am your current comedian this evening. I am POPPA RUS GUTIN. I am a little Jew stoner hobbit who is very aware that I look exactly like Latino Jimmy Neutron or Puerto Rican Zoolander with this haircut and face. Thank you, I'm aware of this. Laughing a little too hard, sir, very hurtful, but I'm aware of how I look, okay, all right? But here's where the cheap applause come in though, everybody, because even though I'm a Jewish, me and my beautiful Guinea Catholic Italian wife have two little beautiful pizza bagel little kids. Rocco Giovanni, our 9-year-old fourth grader, and Sophia Beatrice, our 5-year-old kindergartner. This is where you give it up for me, studio audience, with your cheap applause. And for my junk, sir, thank you. My junk and I did it, sir, it's true. I got my wife pregnant on accident twice, sir. Lickety split, no problem. I'm extremely potent. You know what I'm talking about, player. I can tell by looking at you. Game recognized, game. Fist bump, blow it up, make it sparkle, okay? And you too, Pappy, I can tell. You still got a few good swimmers in there, Pappy. You can tell. Here, give it up for Pappy, ladies and gentlemen, and his back problems. And thank you for fighting in the Great War, by the way, Pappy. Thank you for our freedom. What was Abraham Lincoln really like? Give it up for Pappy one more time. And Ben Gay and arthritis, okay? But listen, New York Comedy Club studio audience, okay? The real reason your POPPA RUS is so glad to be fully vaccinated and quadruple boosted and finally allowed out of the house again since the pandemic and talk to all of you beautiful grown people here tonight, miss, is to address the elephant in the room, okay, miss? Because I know when you look at me, I look 27 years old. Don't disagree, miss. Go with the premise, okay? That's right. I look 27 years old. That's right. But believe it or not, everybody, I am actually a relic from the past because I am actually 42 years old and the father of 2. And I know what you're thinking, miss. You're like, holy shit, POPPA RUS, you look fucking amazing for your age. Oh my God. I can see the gears turning in your head right now. You're like, oh my God, what is his secret? What is his skincare regimen? Is it intermittent fasting? Is it keto? Is it meth? Oh my God, this guy looks fucking amazing for 42. And I agree, miss. Let's agree to agree, everybody. I look fucking amazing. Give it up for me, New York City. The ageless wonder, they call me in the green room. Benjamin Buttenberg is what they call me at synagogue, okay, everybody? But that means, because I'm 42 years old, that means that I grew up in the 80s and the 90s before the internets and the social medias. Give it up if you're from the 80s and the 90s. Oh, okay, all right, there's a few elderly folks. Welcome to the VFW Early Bird Special Show, okay, you elderly bastards. My back hurts, okay, all right? And that means, because I grew up in the 80s and the 90s before the internets and the social medias, everybody, that means that I am not always hip to and aware and good at modern technology and modern social media and social media culture and etiquette and phrases, okay? I'm an analog man in a digital world, sir, okay? To be honest with you guys, the only way that I really know about modern social media and dating and things like that is from listening to all these young whippersnapper millennial comedians talking about it all the time, okay? So I know all about these dating apps with the Grindr and the Tinder and the kids doing the Molly and they're eating the ass, okay, sir? That's all I know. They're eating a lot of ass nowadays. And I'll tell you what, sir, this is how I know I can never date nowadays, okay? Because I'm Jewish. I'm allergic to gluten and dairy. There is no way that there is not one or both of those things in all the ass I'm supposed to be consuming, okay? All right? And like I said, I'm not good at modern technology. So during the pandemic, I run the Atlantic City Comedy Club for this company, and they're like, Russell, the club is shut down. You need to do a podcast. And I was like, what? Shit, no, why me? I don't even know how to subscribe to one. I won't even be able to follow myself. But sir, they made me do the podcast. The production value was very low. The host was very high. And we got through it, America, okay? But like I said, analog man in a digital world. But ladies and gentlemen, even before the pandemic, I was already aware of a cultural and social phenomenon on the social medias called sliding into your DMs. Give it up if you know what sliding into the DMs means, everybody. Okay, you're nasty, you're nasty. If you're acting like you don't know what it is, you're probably a liar, okay, all right? And don't worry, Pappy, if you don't know what sliding into the DMs is, I'm gonna explain it to you in a minute, because I'm hip to it now, I understand it, okay? But for all you nasty folks and you liars that do know what sliding into the DMs means, I'm gonna get some more cheap applause, because I have a very special announcement, everybody, because I found out during the pandemic that guys were consistently sliding in to my wife's DMs. Give it up for me, New York City. I know, sir. I was so excited. I was like, oh, yeah, Russell. Other guys are jealous of you. They're Jelly Kelly. They want to get with your wife. They want what you have. I was so excited, sir. I always wanted people to be jealous of me and want what I have. Why else would I be in show business, okay? But, Pappy, listen. If you don't know what sliding into the DMs is, don't worry. I got you. I know what it is now, okay, everybody? Because this is what sliding into the DMs is, okay? All right, Pappy? This is when you're on the social medias and you're on the Facebook, the Instagrams, or the TikToks. And then a stranger, former classmate, acquaintance, or coworker sends a direct message to your wife, girlfriend, or significant other, offering them the sexy time, trying to get into their pantaloons, sometimes even attaching a picture of their swollen member, okay, all right? And this is a very heinous and disgusting thing that I understand ladies, men do on the internet all the time, okay, all right? But let me tell you something. This is how you know, miss, that I'm not lying about how old I say I am up here, because I still refer to these things as the Facebook, the Instagrams, and the TikToks, okay? You're all in my top 8 on MySpace. That's how behind I am on this, okay, everybody? But this is how I found out that this sliding into the DMs business was happening in my own home during the pandemic, everybody. Because I was sitting in the living room with my wife during the pandemic, and we're looking at our phones with nothing to do. And all of a sudden, my wife looks up from her phone, all annoyed and disgusted, and she goes, "Ew, Daniel Cohen from high school. Way to slide into my DMs during a pandemic. Real classy." And she was very annoyed and disgusted, miss, but not me. My fucking ears perked up, like a wolf, you know? Because I'd only heard that term out in the comedy wild, like I told you know what I mean? And she was very annoyed and disgusted, miss, but me, I just hopped up and I was like, "Ooh, honey, are guys sliding into your DMs? I have heard of this." And she's like, "Yes, Russell, men are disgusting. It happens to all women all the time on the internet." And she was very annoyed and disgusted, miss, but me, I was like, "All right, honey, good for you. Put it up there, girl. Mazel tov. You're looking good. You're a bad bitch, honey. Look at you. Still getting hit on the internet at your age. Look at you. You look good in pictures. You don't even have to put a lot of filters on it, I bet, honey. They can all see your personality shining through." I was so excited for her, miss. I turned into an episode of Drag Race. I was like, "Work, bitch. Work, work." I turned British, sir. I was like, "You're looking right spry, love. You're looking right fit, miss, a diddly-do." I started watching fucking Ted Lasso, okay, everybody? I was so fucking excited. I felt complimented. I felt flattered. But then, miss, my wife looks up at me and she goes, "Russell, what are you so excited about? Men are disgusting. What do you think? I'm the best-looking woman in the world? I can have an eye patch and a peg leg, and I would still get 6 to 8 of these messages a week. On average, men are disgusting. Watch the news, read a book." And I agreed with her, sir. Men are disgusting. But for that first minute, that first 60 seconds, I was excited for her. I was excited for myself. I felt complimented. I felt flattered. But then, everybody, I started to think about it for 30 more seconds. And I very quickly started to realize just how insulting all these messages my wife was getting to me, miss, okay? Very fucking insulting, right? Because I took a minute and I was objective about it and I started to think about it and I couldn't believe how insulting it was that all of these guys, independent of each other, that when all of them looked at just a few of my wife's social media photos, of which I'm in most of them, that means every single one of these guys took one look at me and they were like, "Well, look at this goofy chucklehead, buck-toothed, cross-eyed idiot. I could definitely replace him. Look at him. He's dressed like a 12-year-old. He's dressed like Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. I could replace that overbite in a second, bro. You can see his overbite from space. Give his orthodontist the Congressional Medal of Freedom." It was very insulting, right, miss? very hurtful to my ego. I cannot believe, other miss, that so many guys, independent of each other, looked at my wife's social media and all said to themselves, well, obviously, the only thing missing from her happy life, home, children, and family is this dick. Sand. Is these specific nuts sin? Very hurtful, very insulting, right, miss? But then I got jealous, miss. But not jealous the way that you would think, okay, everybody? Because do not get the wrong idea. I would never be suspicious or jealous of my wife. Our relationship is based on love and trust and mutual respect, okay, miss? I would never suspect or assume that my wife would ever accept one of these digital dick offers that would ultimately uproot our family, especially during a pandemic, okay, everybody? Because here's what you need to know about me and my wife as human beings. When it comes to me and my wife as human beings, we are 100% opposed to ever being inconvenienced in any way, shape, or form. We refuse to be inconvenienced. So I turned to my wife, miss, and I was like, honey, can you imagine if you accepted one of these digital dick offers and had to uproot our family during a pandemic? How inconvenient, right, miss? What a fucking mess. Can you believe that? You would have to change a bunch of your passwords. You would have to change your cable bill. You would have to change your address, miss. Have you seen the lines at the DMV since the fucking pandemic? Nobody needs that shit in their life. What a mishigots, right, other Jews? And don't worry, Pappy, if you don't know what mishigots is, that is Jewish for clusterfuck. What an inconvenient mishigots clusterfuck that would be. And here's another fun fact about me and my wife not liking to be inconvenienced, miss, okay? My wife never even changed her last name after we got married. We were like, nope, too much paperwork, fuck it, not doing it. Inconvenient. We have literally gone 14 years and counting out of our way to simply not be inconvenienced by paperwork. But listen, sir, I've been honest with you all night long, and I'm going to be honest with you right now. I'll tell you the absolute truth, okay? I'll be honest with you. If one of these digital dick pics and one of these dudes actually did tickle my wife's fancy and she wanted to make something of it, I would sooner invite that dude to move in with us and we become a throuple. Right, sir? It would be fucking easier. It would be more convenient, right? We could switch off fucking my wife every other weekend. We can get a family cell phone plan. We can carpool places. There's a path to success of convenience in the throuple situation, okay? All right? But the reason I got jealous, miss, okay, was because then my wife looks up at me and she says, Russell, I don't understand. You're on social media. You perform in front of all these people every week. Haven't you ever received one of these kind of messages? And I turned to my wife and I said, well, no, honey, I haven't. Apparently, no ladies have even accidentally walked past my DMs, let alone tried to slide a thit to them, the JJ first. Nary a nipple, sir, nary a nipple. So the reason I got jealous, miss, was not that I would ever participate in such a scandalous act or accept such a heinous offer, but you know what? It would still be nice to be asked. Right, sir? It's like we say in show business. It's an honor just to be nominated, right? You know Meryl Streep's going to win the Golden Globes, but you still want to be invited to the Golden Globes to see someone's Golden Globes. So give it up for my wife and I for sticking together, everybody, despite so much sliding into her DMs, sir. My DMs, ghost town, boarded up storefront after a hurricane. My wife's DMs, miss, field of dicks, Kevin Costner. As far as the eye can see, a plethora of penises, a smorgasbord of schlongs, a poo-poo platter of wangs, long ones, tall ones, short ones, fat ones, one fish, two fish, white dick, black dick, so many fucking dicks, sir. An old country buffet of dicks. I'm serious, miss. You would break your wrist trying to scroll through the cornucopia of cocks in my wife's inbox, trying to get inside my wife's inbox. But I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. You know what? Every dude in this audience right now, take out your phones, take out your dicks, take a picture of your dick, send it to my wife's Instagram. We're going to make a little scrapbook of it, maybe a calendar for my office, put a little Santa hat on whatever cock we choose for December, whatever December cock. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your Papa RUS GUTIN. Slide into my wife's DMs. Thank you for having me, New York Comedy Club. Good night. Thank you, guys.